This is the Joint Legislative Audit and Review Committee and the I-900 Subcommittee public hearing for Wednesday, August 9th, 2025. Today, we are hearing an audit presented to us by the State Auditor's Office on safe data disposal at a college. Staff from the State Auditor's Office will give a presentation of their recent performance audit. The performance audit being discussed at this hearing was conducted solely and independently by the State Auditor's Office under the authority of legislation approved by the voters, Initiative 900. The State Auditor is elected directly by the people of the state of Washington and operates independently of the legislature and the Joint Legislative Audit and Review Committee. That's JLARC. JLARC members attending virtually can let me know during the presentation if they have questions using the raise hand function in Zoom. After the State Auditor's Office presentation, agency staff will provide comments on the audit reports, and members will have an opportunity to ask them questions. We will be taking public testimony after the presentation. Staff have supplied information on registering for in-person and remote public testimony via Zoom on the JLARC website, and I do know that we have 8 people signed up to testify who I will be calling on after we do questions from the committee members. Just a word about the attendance today. The House and Senate are on the floor of the respective chambers today. I'm Representative Jerry Paulette, the Assistant Secretary of the Joint Legislative Audit and Review Committee, and we hope that other members may be able to join us as the hearing proceeds, leaving the floor in caucuses. So with that, I'd like to call up and please help me, Ms. Billibran, if I've said your name correctly, yes, from the State Auditor's Office to present the audit on safe data disposal at a college.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. My name is Olga Bilobran, and I am a Senior Performance Auditor with the Washington State Auditor's Office. Today, I will present to you the results of our audit on safe data disposal at the college. Before I begin, I would like to thank the audited college for the information and assistance they have provided throughout the audit. I also want to thank the Washington Technology Solutions for providing valuable information during the audit. And I just want to make sure before I proceed that you can see the slides.
We can.
Thank you. Like most state agencies, public institutions of higher education have the authority to dispose of all the equipment they no longer need for their operations. Their surplus programs take unwanted property that includes IT equipment as well and resell, recycle, or otherwise dispose of it. Colleges handle many records that contain confidential information. State law requires them to destroy or arrange for the destruction of such data before they can send the IT equipment that stored it to surplus. Releasing such information can harm a person's privacy and financial security. It can also pose the risk of identity theft. To help colleges and other agencies comply with the law, Washington Technology Solutions developed the Media Sanitization and Disposal Standard. The standard requires agencies develop media sanitization and disposal procedures, select the appropriate method to sanitize media, and test at least 10% of sanitized media to ensure the process is working correctly. Our office has already conducted 2 audits evaluating how well state agencies removed confidential data from IT devices before selling them through the Department of Enterprise Services Surplus Program. This audit evaluated how surplus IT equipment was handled in a higher education setting that does not participate in the DES program, but uses its own procedures. We do not disclose the identity of the college in our report or in today's presentation to decrease the risk to college's data security. And that is also the reason why the college is not here today and will not be providing any comments. So when conducting our audit, we wanted to know whether the institution of higher education removes or destroys confidential information found on computers and other IT equipment before selling them as surplus. During audit, we learned that the college's process for sanitizing its IT equipment has a few strengths that are worth highlighting. To be more specific, the college only resells IT equipment that can be sanitized and destroys the rest. It treats every device as if it contains confidential information. The college uses professional sanitization systems to sanitize devices. So to test whether the college follows its process, we selected 32 devices, such as desktop and laptop computers, a variety of hard disks, iMacs, and iPads. Then we conducted 2 separate tests that included verifying that the hard drive was removed from a device or that it was properly sanitized. Having conducted our tests, we found that in all cases, hard drives had either been removed from the device or they had been properly sanitized. As I mentioned earlier, in addition to removing confidential data from IT equipment, the Media Sanitization and Disposal Standard requires state agencies to test 10% of their sanitized media. While the standard does not specify the frequency of testing or whether all sanitized media must be tested, guidelines issued by the National Institute of Standards and Technology suggest either full verification or verification of a representative sample of sanitized equipment. During the audit, we found that the college verifies some of its sanitization results through testing, but it does not verify auction drives because they are very confident in their sanitization protocol, although they are confident in their sanitization process. Testing a portion of sanitized equipment provides additional assurance that the sanitization process is working as intended. That is why we recommend that the college develops and documents a procedure to periodically test its sanitized equipment sold through auction. In developing the process, we recommend the college consults with Washington Technology Solutions to determine the appropriate volume and frequency of testing. The college has already reported to us that it had started working on addressing our recommendation. And additionally, we have also connected the college with WATEC so they can work on the recommendation that we made. This concludes my presentation, and I am happy to answer any questions that you may have for me.
Thank you, Auditor Bilebran. There are no hands up. So I have a couple of questions after reading the audit, and I want to thank the State Auditor's Office for conducting this performance audit, and I assume this is part of a series, as you said, not just one college is being audited, right? I was unclear if the college, the anonymous college, if they were able to set their own standard without consultation with Washington Technology Solutions, or must an independently adopted standard by a college meet or exceed WTS's standards?
We did not discuss with them what process they use to set their policies and procedures, but we did compare their policies and procedures to the standard developed by WATEC, and it did not contradict the standard, so it was in line with the standard.
So it's in line with the standards. Is there reason to be concerned that unless colleges and universities are required to submit their procedure and standard for review, a different college might not be as rigorous as WTS's standards?
I cannot speak for all the colleges because some colleges do use DES program for surplus to surplus their equipment. So I would not know how their policies and procedures were developed or what policies and procedures they have in that regard.
Since we don't know which college this is and they are meeting or exceeding that standard, I assume then that communicating with WTS would be appropriate about making sure that they are reviewing and any entity that is not meeting their standard or is using a separate standard is reviewed by them and commented on.
Yeah, so we connected the college with WATEC, who developed the standard, so that they develop a good process for testing the sanitized equipment, and they can agree on the amount of equipment that needs to be tested as well as frequency.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
I think that answers all our questions, and we don't have any agency respondees here today. Again, as always, we appreciate the work of the State Auditor's Office in conducting these really essential performance audits. And this is a paid advertisement, so to speak, for the value of the performance audit of government account in our state budget. So with that, I'd like to turn to public testimony on this audit. And we've got 8 people, as I said, lined up to testify. And you want to tell me how?
4 of the people are online. 3 people said they were going to be here in person, but they are not. So.
Oh, okay. Can we just bring up a panel of the 4 people who are online? Oh, I see 2 people online are listed as online. Rachel Chu and Andrew Liu, is that correct? Let's see if we can bring them up. And well, I'm seeing Paige Citron as well. Let's start with Rachel Chu. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Hi.
Please give us your name for the record and then proceed. We're usually would use a timer here, but we're going to give you 2 minutes to testify, and we'll be a little loose about that. Okay?
Okay, thank you. My name is Rachel Chu, and I'm a high schooler in Kirkland. So during the college application process last fall, I experienced firsthand just how much trust students like me place in college data systems. I submitted a great amount of sensitive information to college, from my personal history to me and my parents' social security numbers and medical records. I was encouraged to read in the state auditor's report that the audited college information demonstrated a thorough and strong data sanitization practices, and I voiced my support for the subcommittee's work and hope to see it lead to the development of uniform statewide standards for safe data disposal across colleges. I also recognize that this audit focused on data security and the effectiveness of sanitization. However, I also hope that the subcommittee will consider future efforts to exploring cost-effective and environmentally responsible standards for data disposal. According to the audit, after COVID, the volume of items being destroyed rose, and in general, 75% of hard drives are destroyed, even some that may have been erasable, largely due to staffing shortages or time constraints in that college. This practice contributes to e-waste and may reduce opportunities for equipment reuse or resale. And if the subcommittee can investigate possible standards to address this, Washington can continue to protect student data while also lowering costs and minimizing environmental harm. Thank you for your time and commitment to this important issue.
Thank you for your testimony and being right on time. Next, let's see who is up next here. Paige Citron.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, please proceed and please introduce yourself and start right in.
My name is Paige Citron, and I am a high school senior from Kirkland, Washington. As someone getting ready to attend college next year, I've already handed over a lot of my personal information, things like my social security number, transcripts, medical history, and financial documents. The thought of that information being left on an old computer or tossed into the trash without being properly destroyed honestly makes me nervous. If a college doesn't throw away or delete that data the right way, it could end up in the wrong hands, and that's a big deal. It could lead to identity theft or people getting access to things that they shouldn't. I don't think students should have to worry about that. We trust colleges to protect us, not just while we're students, but even after we leave. That includes taking care of our personal information and making sure it's safely deleted when it's not needed anymore. I believe that this is important, and I hope you'll support stronger rules to keep students' information safe. Thank you for your time and listening to my voice as a student today.
Thank you very much for your testimony as well. Do we have anyone else online asking to testify? I want to thank Rachel and Paige for their wonderful testimony. It's great to hear from high school students who are definitely affected by the security of our public colleges and universities' data systems, and I appreciate your suggestions about reuse and recycle and reducing waste. And we take that as very seriously. People may submit written. We have a question. We normally don't take questions, but we're so pressed for time. Not that. Be glad in the interests of education here to take a question from you. Please, Paige.
Oh, I don't think my hand's supposed to be raised.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Thank you. You written testimony may be submitted to the on the audit, and testimony can be submitted to JLARC, as in Joint Legislative Audit Review Committee, JLARC at leg.wa.gov. Again, that's JLARC at leg.wa.gov, or sent via U.S. mail to P.O. Box 40910. That's P.O. Box 40910, Olympia, Washington, 98504. And this meeting is recorded and will be available on TVW's wonderful service if you'd like to watch it on archive. And that will close our hearing for today. Thank you all very much.